All right, we are live. Of course, the first thing I got to do is wipe my nose. All right, so the Lysistrata. I did look this one up finally for I'm reading it. So hopefully I'm going to get most of the names pronounced correctly. One thing that I've learned is that almost every name in here has several correct pronunciations. Like I never took Latin or anything. So some of the characters we have is the lead female character, Lysistrata, or Lysistrata, or Lysistrata. There's like one other pronunciation, Lysistrata, something along those lines. And then we got Calanice, Marina, Lempido, the magistrates. We'll have Stratilis, Synesius, and then a child of Synesius. We'll have a herald of the Laconian ambassadors. We'll have Athenian ambassadors. We'll have the idlers. We'll have a porter, and then we'll have a chorus of men, kind of like the chorus of the clouds, if you'll remember. And then we have a chorus of women. So it's interesting that we'll have more choruses than even in the clouds. So the Lysistrata, play by Aristophanes. This is the fourth book. And once I finish this, I'll be a ninth of the way through my first year of suggested reading from the Great Conversation, the great books, the Great Conversation series from Britannica, published in the 50s, which is what I'm reading from. All right. Here we go. It is daybreak at Athens, and Lysistrata, a young and beautiful woman, is standing alone with marks of evident anxiety in her countenance and demeanor. The scene represents the sloping hill which rises from the lower to the upper city. In the background are the Propylaea, the splendid portals of the Athenian Acropolis. Lysistrata is on the lookout for persons who do not come, and after exhibiting various symptoms of impatience, she suddenly begins to speak with abrupt and indignant emphasis. Lysistrata. Now were they summoned to some shrine of Bacchus, Pan, Callias, Genitilis. There had been no room to stir, so thick the crowd of timbrels, and now there's not one woman to be seen. Stay, here comes one, my neighbor Calanice. Good morning, friend. Enter Calanice. Calanice says, Good morning, Lysistrata. Why, what's the matter? Don't look gloomy, child. It don't become you to knit not your eyebrows. Lysistrata says, My heart is hot within me, Calanice, and sore I grieve for sake of womankind, because the women account us all to be sly, shifty rogues. Calanice says, And so by Zeus we are. Lysistrata says, Yet though I told them to be here betimes, to talk on weighty business, they don't come. They're fast asleep. Calanice says, They'll come, dear heart, they'll come. 'Tis hard, you know, for women to get out. One has to mind her husband, one to rouse her servant, one to put the child to sleep, one has to wash him, one to give him pep. I'm not sure exactly what that's short for, pep, P-A-P dot. Ah, but they've other duties still pressing than such as these. Calanice says, Well, but Lysistrata, why have you, dear, convoked us? Is the matter a weighty subject? Lysistrata says, weighty? Yes. Calanice says, and pregnant? Pregnant by Zeus. Why ever don't we come then? Lysistrata says, No, it's not that. We have come fast enough for such like nonsense. 'Tis a scheme I've hit on, tossing it over many a sleepless night. Calanice says, Tossing it over? Then 'tis light, I fancy. Lysistrata says, Light? Aye, so light, my dear, that all the hopes of the states are anchored on us women. Calanice says, Anchored on us? A slender stay to lean on. Lysistrata says, Aye, all depends on us. All depends on us, whether as well the Peloponnesians all shall cease to be. Calanice says, Sure, and 'tis better they should cease to be. Lysistrata says, And all the dwellers in Boeotia perish. Calanice says, Except the eels. Do pray except the eels. Lysistrata says, And about Athens, mark you, I won't utter such words as these. You must supply my meaning. But if the women will but meet here now, Boeotian girls, Peloponnesian girls, and we ourselves, we'll save the states between us. Calanice says, what can we women do? What brilliant scheme can we, poor souls, accomplish? We who sit trimmed and bedizened in our saffron silks, our cambric robes, and little finical shoes. Lysistrata says, Why, they're the very things I hope will save us. Your saffron dresses and your finical shoes, your paints and perfumes, and your robes of gauze. How mean you save us? So that nevermore men in our day shall lift the hostile spear. Oh, by the twain, I'll use the saffron dye. Or grasp the shield, I'll don the cambric robe. Or draw the sword, I'll wear the finical shoes. Should not the women then have come betimes? Come? No, by Zeus, they should have flown with wings. So Lysistrata is more about the women's strength, and her friend Calanice is concerned with all of the more womanly things. This is a traditional view on women. Okay. Come, no, by Zeus, they would have flown with wings. Ah, friend, you'll find them in an attic to the core, always too late in everything they do. Not even one woman from the coast has come, not even from Salamis. Calanice says, oh, they no doubt will cross this morning early in their boats. Lysistrata says, and those I counted sure to come the first, my staunch Arcanian damsels, they're not here, not they. Calanice says, and yet Theogene's wife consulted Hecate, Hecate, as if to come, and then several women enter, headed by Marina from the village of Anagyrus. Hi, but they're coming now. Here they all are. First one and then another. Hoity-toity. Whence come all these? Lysistrata says, from Anagir. Calanice says, aha, we've stirred up Anagir at all events. More women enter. Marina says, are we too late, Lysistrata? What? Why don't you speak? Lysistrata says, I'm sorry, Marina, that you should come so late on such a business. Marina says, I scarce could find my girdle in the dark, but if the thing is so pressing, tell us now. Lysistrata says, no, let's wait a little till the women of Peloponnesus and Boeotia come to join our congress. Marina says, oh yes, better so. And here good chance is Lampedo approaching. Lampedo is a Spartan woman. She enters, accompanied by her friends. Lysistrata says, oh, welcome, Lampedo, my love. Oh, the sweet girl, how hale and bright she looks. Here's nerve, here's muscle, here's an arm could fairly throttle a bull. Lampedo says, wheel by the trois. I'm not sure what that means. Wheel by the trois, I think say, and I can loop and fling and kick my hurdies. I'm wondering if this is like an accent that she's using from a certain place. Lysistrata says, see, here's a neck and breast, how firm and lusty. Lampedo says, wow, but you prod me like a fatted calf. Lysistrata says, and who's this other damsel? Whence comes she? Lampedo says, and deputation for Boeotia coming to sit among you. Lysistrata says, ah, from fair Boeotia, the land of plains. Calanice says, a very lovely land, well cropped and trimmed, and spruce with pennyroyal. Lysistrata says, and who's the next? Lampedo says, a bonny birdie she's a Corinthian lassie. Lysistrata says, aye, by Zeus, and so she is, a bonny lass indeed. Lampedo says, but what you got together of the throngs and winches? I guess that means what you got together, the throngs and winches. Was it you that got together the ladies? Lysistrata says, I did. Lampedo says, did you knew? Then tell us what 'tis a for. Oh, did you know? Then tell us what 'tis a for. It's funny that it's like written in a way that it brings out that accent. Lysistrata says, oh yes, my dear, I will. Marina says, hey, Shirley, tell us all of this urgent business. Lysistrata says, oh yes, I'll tell you now, but first I'd ask you one simple question. Marina says, ask it, dear, and welcome. Lysistrata says, do you not miss the fathers of your babies, always on service? Well, I wot you all have got a husband absent at the wars. Calanice says, mine worst luck has been 5 months away in Thracian quarters watching Eucrates. Marina says, and mine's been stationed 7 whole months at Pylus. Lampedo says, and my good man nae sooner comes frae war than he straps targ and gangs away again. Okay, so he comes from war, then he straps targ and gangs away again. I'm going to have to do that for Lampedo every time, I suppose. Okay, Lysistrata says, no husbands now, no sparks, no anything. For ever since Meletus played us false, we've had no joy, no solace, none at all. So will you, if I find a way, help me to end the war? Marina says, that we will. I will be sure, though I fling me down this mantling shawl and have a bout of drinking. Calanice says, and I would cleave my very self in twain like a cleft turbo and give half for peace. Lampedo says, and I, to glint at peace again, would spiel up to the tap rig o Tigety. I'm not sure exactly what any of that means. Lysistrata says, I'll tell you now. 'Tis meet ye all should know, O ladies, sisters, if we really mean to make them make peace, there's but one way. We must abstain. Marina says, well, tell us. Lysistrata says, will ye do it? Marina says, do it? Surely, but though it cost our lives. Lysistrata says, we must abstain each from the joys of love. How? What? Why turn away? Where are you going? What makes you pat your lips and shake your heads? What brings this falling tear that changes color? Will ye or will ye not? What mean ye, eh? Marina says, I'll never do it. Let the war go on. Kalina says, Zeus, nor I either. Let the war go on. Lysistrata says, you too, Miss Turbo? Turbo, you who said just now you'd cleave for peace your very self in twain? Kalini says, ask anything but this. Why, if needs be, I'd walk through fire, only not give up love. There's nothing like it, dear Lysistrata. Lysistrata says, and what say you? Marina says, I'd lie for walk through fire. I guess that means I'd rather walk through fire. Lysistrata says, oh, women, women! Oh, our frail, frail sex! No wonder tragedies are made from us. Always the same, nothing but loves and cradles. Oh, friend, oh, Lampedo, if you and I are of one mind, we yet may pull things through. Won't you vote with me, dear? Lampedo says, hath by the trois, 'tis sair to bid your lane without men. Still it maun be, we maun hae peace at a risks. Peace at a risks. Lampedo, everyone. Lysistrata says, oh, dearest friend, my one true friend of all. Kalini says, well, but suppose we do the things you say, pray heaven avert it, but put case we do, shall we be nearer peace? Lysistrata says, much, much, much nearer. For if we women will but sit at home, powdered and trimmed, clad in our daintiest lawn, employing all our charms and all our arts to win men's love, and when we've won it, then repel them firmly till the end of the war, we'll soon get peace again. Be sure of that. So basically, get a man and then refuse to have sex until peace is at hand. Lampedo says, Se Menelaus, when he glowered, I ween, at Helen's breast he coosed his glaive away. Kalini says, or but suppose they leave us all together. Lysistrata says, oh, faddle, then we'll find some substitute. If they try force? Lysistrata says, they'll soon get tired of that if we keep firm. Scant joy a husband gets who finds himself at discord with his wife. Kalini says, well then, if so you wish it, so we'll have it. Lampedo says, in our good folk, we's easily persuade to keep the peace, with never a thought or guile, but your Athenian hermscarum callants was shall persuade them no to play the fool. Lysistrata says, oh, we'll persuade our people, never fear. Lampedo says, not while you've got these galleys rigged, say Trim, and Ralph a cellar knight the goddess. Lysistrata says, oh, but my dear, we've taken thought for that. This very morn we seized the Acropolis. So they've seized the Acropolis, like where they hold the money for the city. Now, whilst we're planning and conspiring here, the elder women have a task assigned to them, under pretense of sacrifice, to seize it. Lampedo says, I will gay family, and ye talk like that. I'm not sure what that means. Lysistrata says, then why not, Lampedo? At once combine all in one oath and clinch the plot securely. Lampedo says, well, you propound the eighth, and we take it. And we take it. Good. Now then, Scythianus, don't stand there gaping. Quick, set a great black shield here, hollow and upwards, and bring the sacrificial bits. Kalini, I guess. Kalini says, and how are we to swear, Lysistrata? Lysistrata says, we'll slay, like those 7 chiefs of Aeschylus, a lamb over a shield. Kalini says, nay, when our object's peace, don't use a shield, Lysistrata, my dear. She says, then what shall be the oath? Kalini says, could we not somehow get a gray mare and cut her up to bits? Lysistrata says, gray mare indeed. Kalini says, well, what's the oath will suit us women best? Goodness. Marina says, I'll tell you what I think. let's set a great black cup here, hollow upwards. Then for a lamb we'll slay a Thasian wine jar and firmly swear to pour no water in. Lampedo says, Hetch the brow aeth, my sturdy, who I like it. Lysistrata says, oh yes, bring out the wine jar and the cup. A maiden brings out a jar of wine and an immense cup. Callias says, la, here's a splendid piece of ware, my dears. Now that's a cup 'twill cheer one's heart to take. Lysistrata says to the servant, set down the cup and take the victim boar. O queen of persuasion and O loving cup, accept our offerings and maintain our cause. Callias says, 'tis jolly colored blood and spurts out bravely. Lampedo says, aye, and by castor very fragrant too. Marina says, let me swear first, my sisters. Callias says, yes, if you draw the first lot, not else, by Aphrodite. Lysistrata says, all place your hands upon the wine cup so. One speak the words repeating after me. Then all the rest confirm it. Now begin. I will abstain from love and love's delights. Callias says, I will abstain from love and love's delights. Right here, let me pause for just a moment. All right. Love's delights. And take no pleasure through my lord invites. And take no pleasure through my lord invites. So this is Lysistrata speaking with Callias. Okay. And sleep a vestal all alone at nights. And sleep a vestal all alone at nights. And live a stranger to all nuptial rites. And live a stranger to all nuptial rites. I don't half like it though, Lysistrata. I will and she continues, I will abjure the very name of love. I will abjure the very name of love. So help me Zeus and all the powers above. So help me Zeus and all the powers above. If I do this, my cup be filled with wine. If I do this, my cup be filled with wine. But if I fail, a water draught be mine. But if I fail, a water draught be mine. You swear this? Oh yes, dear, we do. I'll now consume these fragments. Lysistrata takes the wine cup in her hands. Callias says, shares my friend. Now at first starting, let us show we're friends. Lampedo says, hark, what yon skirlin? Then a person cheering is heard in the distance. The sound of a person cheering is heard in the distance. Lysistrata says, and that's the thing I said. They've seized the Acropolis, Athene's castle. Our comrades have. Now, Lampedo, be off. You, go to Sparta and arrange things there. Leave us here, these girls as hostages, and we will pass inside the castle walls and help the women there close the bars. Callias says, but don't you think that very soon the men will come in, arms against us? Lysistrata says, let them come. They will not bring or threats or fire enough to awe our women hearts and make us open these gates again, save on the terms we've mentioned. Callias says, by Aphrodite, no, else 'twere for naught that people call us bold, resistless jades. Okay. So the crowd now disperses. Lampedo leaves for her homeward journey, and the others disappearing through the gates of the Propylaea. After a pause, the chorus of men are seen slowly approaching from the lower city. They are carrying heavy logs of firewood and a jar of lighted cinders, and as they move, they sing their entrance song. So I believe this is the song that they're singing. I'd love to know what the melody was. On, sure and slow, my draces go, through that great log you're bringing, of olive green as sore I ween, your poor old shoulder ringing. Oh dear, how many things in life belies one's expectations, since who'd have thought, my stremador, that these abominations, who would have thought that sluts like these, our household pests, would have waxed so bold, as the holy image by fraud to seize, as the city castle by force to hold, with block and bolt and barrier vast, making the Propylaea fast. Pass on, Philurgus toward the heights, will pile a great amazing array of logs around the walls and set them all ablazing. And as for these conspirators, a bonfire huge will make them. One vote shall doom the whole to death, one funeral pyre shall take them. And thus will burn the whole brood accursed, but Lycan's wife will burn the first. No, never, never, whilst I live, shall women folk deride me, not scatheless went Cleomenes when he like this defied me. and dared my castle to seize. Yet he, a Spartan breathing contempt and pride, full soon surrendered his arms to me, and a scanty coat round his loins he tied. And with unwashed limbs, and with unkempt head, and with 6 years' dirt the intruder fled. So strict and stern a watch around my mates and I were keeping, and 17 rows of serried shields before the fortress sleeping. And these, whom both Euripides and all the powers on high alike detest, shall these my manly rage defy. Then never be my trophy shown on the red plains of Marathon, but over this snubby protruding steep, ere we reach our goal at the castle keep. We've still with our burdensome load to creep, and how to manage that blunt incline without a donkey I can't divine. Dear, how these two great firelogs make my wearied shoulders toil and ache, but still right onward we needs must go, and still the cinders we needs must blow. Else we'll find the fire extinguished ere we reach our journey's end. Puff, 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 oh the smoke, the smoke. O royal Heracles, what a lot. Oh, well, there's a little break in the thing. Okay. O royal Heracles, what a lot. A fire came raging out of the pot, and flew like a dog at my eyes red hot. 'Twas a jet from the Lemnian mines, I ween. It came so fierce and it bit so keen, and worried with persistence sore, my two poor eyes inflamed before. O lashes on to the castle press, and aid the god in her dire distress. Surely if we would help her, now's the very time, my friend. Puff, 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 oh the smoke, the smoke. I'm imagining guys singing like, puff, 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 oh the smoke, the smoke. Thank heaven the fire is still alight and burning beautifully bright. So here we'll lay our burdens down with eager hearts delighted, and dip the vine torch in the pot and get it there ignited. Then all together at the gates like battering rams will butt, and if our summons they reject, and keep the barrier shut. I think maybe I should sing it like that the entire time. We'll burn the very doors with fire, and them with smoke we'll smother. So lay the burdens down, phew, phew, oh how the smoke does bother. What general from the Simian lines an active hand will lend us? Well, well, I'm glad my back is freed from all the weight. Well, I'm glad my back is freed from all that weight tremendous. Oh, pot, 'tis now your turn to help, oh, send alive your jet. Aflame this way that I today the earliest light might get. Oh, victory, oh, victory, immortal queen, assist us thou in rearing a trophy o'er these women hosts so bold and domineering. And that's the, okay. So, I'll send alive your jet aflame this way today. So they're praying to help rearing the women host. So their chorus of men is coming in to clear the women of the Acropolis. I believe it's the gist in verse. All right. During the last few lines, the men have been completing their preparations, and the air above them is now growing lurid with the smoke and flame of their torches. As the men relapse into silence, the voices of the chorus of women are heard in the distance. They come sweeping round from the north side of the Acropolis, carrying their pitchers of water and singing in turn their entrance song. The two choruses are for the present concealed from each other by the northwestern angle of the Acropolis. So here's the chorus of the women from a distance. Redly up in the sky, the flames are beginning to flicker. Smoke and vapor of fire, come quicker, my friends, come quicker. Fly, niceties to fly, else will Calisa burn, else Cratilla will die. Slain by the laws so stern, slain by the old man's hate. Ah, but I fear, can it chance that I come too late? Trouble it was, forsooth, but my jug I could, trouble it was, forsooth, before my jug I could fill. All in the dusk of the morn, at the spring by the side of the hill. What with the clatter of pitchers, the noise and the press of the throng, jostling with knaves and slaves, till at last I snatched it along. Abundance of water supplying, to friends who are burning and dying, yea, for hither they stay, dotards are dragging to burn us, logs of enormous weight, fit for a bathroom furnace, vowing to roast and slay, sternly the reprobate women. O lady, O goddess, I pray, ne'er may I see them in flames. I hope to behold them with gladness. Hell is nothing as redeeming from battle and murder and madness. This is the cause why they venture, lady that manches to hold, Tridaginia eternal, champion with helmet of gold. And oh, if And oh, if with firemen invade them, oh, help us with water to aid them. At this juncture, the chorus of women wheel around the corner of the Acropolis, and the two choruses suddenly meet face to face. So I'm going to use a low voice to indicate men. The men's chorus, I'm going to use either my regular or a slightly higher voice to indicate the women's parts. Stop, easy all, what have we here? You vile abandoned crew, no good and virtuous men, I'm sure, would act in the way you do. Hey, here's an unexpected sight. Hey, here's a demonstration. A swarm of women issuing out with warlike preparation. Hello, you seem a little moved. Does this one droop affright you? You see not yet this myriad part of those prepared to fight you. Now really, Phaedrus, shall we stop to hear such odious treason? Let's break out our sticks about the backs, let's beat the jades to reason. Hi, sister, set the pitchers down, and then they won't embarrass our nimble fingers if the rogues attempt our ranks to harass. Okay. I warrant now, if twice or thrice we slap their faces neatly, that they will learn like Bupalus to hold their tongues discreetly. So I'm not sure. I don't understand that reference. Bupalus, Bupalus, Bupalus. That might have to be one that, if I remember later, I'll have to remember or look up. If I remember later, I'll have to look up. To hold their tongues discreetly. Well, here's my face. I won't draw back. Now slap it if you dare. And I won't leave me 1 ounce of you for other dogs to tear. Keep still, or else your musty age to very shreds I'll batter. Now only touch Stratilis, sir. Just lift 1 finger at her. And what if with these fists, my love, I pound the wench to shivers? By heaven, we'll gnaw your entrails out and rip away your livers. There is not than Euripides, a bard more wise and knowing, for women are a shameless set, the vilest creatures going. Pick up again, Rhodipidir, your jug with water brimming. What made you bring that water here, you god-detested women? What made you bring that light, old tomb, to set yourselves afire? No, but to kindle for your friends a mighty funeral pyre. Well, then, we brought this water here to put your bonfire out, sirs. You but our bonfire out indeed. You'll see beyond a doubt, sirs. I swear that with this torch off hand, I'll have a mind to fry you. Got any soap, my lad? If so, a bath I'll soon supply you. A bath for me, you moldy hag, and that a bride bath too. Zounds, did you hear her impudence? Ain't I freeborn as you? I'll quickly put a stop to this. You'll judge me no more, I vow. Hi, set the vixen's hair on fire. Now, Achilles, now. Or now, water now. That it denotes water. That means water. Achilles. Now, water now. Good gracious, what? You found it hot? Hot, birder, stop, be quiet. I'm watering you to make you grow. I wither up from shivering so. I tell you what, a fire you've got, so warm your members by it. Ooh. At this crisis, the tumult is stayed for an instant by the appearance on stage of a venerable official personage, one of the magistrates who, after the Sicilian catastrophe, were appointed under the name of probuli to form a directory or committee of public safety. He is attended by 4 Scythian archers, part of the ordinary police of the Athenian Republic. The women retire into the background. So what's happened here, we've had the chorus of men and chorus of women just arguing, kind of like, it's not real deep stuff, but then the women toss. I believe what's happened is that the women have put out the fires that the men have brought to, burn them out of the Acropolis, I guess, or fry them. All right. The magistrate says, has then the women's wantonness blazoned out their constant temporals and Sabaziuses, and that Adonis dirge upon the roof, which once I heard in full assembly time. 'Twas when Demostratus beshrew him, moved to sail to Sicily, and from the roof a woman dancing shrieked, Woe, woe, Adonis! And he proposed to enroll Scythian hoplites. I don't understand what's going on right now. The magistrate is just speaking. And she upon the roof, the Madian woman, cried, Wail, Adonis! Yet he forced it through, that God-detested vile ill-temperian, such are the women follies of the sex. And the men's chorus, what if you heard their insolence today, their vile outrageous goings on, and look, see how they've drenched and soused us from their pitchers till we can wring out water from our clothes. The magistrate says, aye, but by Poseidon, and it serves us right. 'Tis all our fault they'll never know their place. These pampered women, whilst we spoil them so, hear how we talk in every workman's shop. Goldsmith, says one, this necklace that you've made, my gay young wife was dancing yestereve, and lost, sweet soul, the fastening of the clasp. Do please reset it, Goldsmith, or again, O shoemaker, my wife's new sandal pinches her little toe, so tender, delicate child, make it fit easier, please. Hence all this nonsense. Yea, things have reached a pretty pass indeed, when I, the States Director, wanting money to purchase our oar blades, find the treasury gates shut in my face by these preposterous women. Nay, but to no dallying now, bring up the crowbars and I'll soon stop your insolence, my dears. So the magistrate is here to put out, get some money or things that he needs to help with another crisis that's going on. All right, so he turns to the Scythians who, instead of setting to work, are poking idly around them. What, gaping fool, and you, can you do nothing but stare with your tavern squinting eye? Push on the crowbars beneath the gates. You stand that side and heave them. I'll stop here and heave them here. Oh, so the gates are thrown open, and Lysistrata comes out. Lysistrata says, Oh, let your crowbars be. Lo, I come out unfetched. What need of crowbars? 'Tis wits, not crowbars, that ye need today. The magistrate says, truly, traitress, say you so? Here, archer, arrest her, tear her hands behind her back. Lysistrata says, and if he touch me with his fingertip, the public scum, for Artemis he'll rue it. The magistrate says, What man afeard? Why, catch her round the waist, and you go with him quick and bind her fast. Calanice coming out. And if you do but lay one hand upon her, for Pandar says, I'll stomp your vitals out. The magistrate says, Vitals, ye hag, another archer, ho! Seize this one first because she chatters so. Marina now comes out. And if you touch her with your fingertip for phosphorus, you'll need a cupping shortly. The magistrate says, Cha! What is all this? Lay hold of this one, archer. I'll stop selling this out. Depend upon it. Stratilis says, and if he touch her for the queen of Taurus, I'll pull his squealing hairs out one by one. The magistrate says, Oh dear, all's up. I've never an archer left. Nay, but I swear we won't be done by women. Come, Scythians, close your ranks and all together charge. Lysistrata says, Charge away, my hearties, and you'll soon know that we've been here, impatient for the fight. 4 women's squadrons armed from top to toe. The magistrate says, Attack them, Scythians, twist their hands behind them. Lysistrata says, Forth to the fray, dear sisters, bold allies. O egg and seed and potter market girls, O garlic-selling barmaid baking girls, charge to the rescue, smack and whack and thwack them. Slang them, I say, show them what JDB. The women come forward. After a short struggle, the archers are routed. So the archers are defeated. Let's see. Fall back, retire, forbear to strip the slain. So they're killed on the stage, I suppose. The magistrate says, Hello! My archers got the worst of that. Lysistrata says, What did the fool expect? Was it to fight with slaves you came? Think you we women feel no thirst for glory? The magistrate says, Thirst enough, I trow. Trust, no doubt of that. When there's a tavern handy, the male chorus chimes in. O thou who wastest many words, director of this nation, why wilt thou with such brutes as these thus hold no negotiation? Dost thou not see the bath wherewith the sluts have dared to lave me, whilst all my clothes were on, and ne'er a bit of soap they gave me? The women's chorus now comes back in. I now understand, like, chimes in. That word now makes more sense in light of Aristophanes' plays. The women's chorus chimes in. For 'tis not right nor yet polite to strike a harmless neighbor, and if you do, 'tis needful too that she your eyes belabor. Full fain would I, a maiden shy and maiden peace be resting, not making here the slightest stir, nor any soul molesting, unless indeed some rogue should strive to rifle and despoil my hive. Oh, how shall we treat, Lord Zeus, such creatures as these? Let us ask the cause for which they have dared to seize this fortress of ancient and high renown, the shrine where never a foot profane hath trod, the lofty rocked, inaccessible Crenan town, the holy temple of God. Now to examine them closely and narrowly, probing them here and sounding them there. Shame if we fail to completely unravel this intricate web of this tangled affair. The magistrate comes back in. Foremost and first, I would wish to inquire of them, what is this silly disturbance about? Why have you ventured to seize the Acropolis, locking the gates and barring us out? The field is now open for a suspension of hostilities, and a parley takes place between the leaders of the two contending factions. Interesting. So now I think we've got this debate set up between Lysistrata and the magistrate, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm counting real quick how many pages I've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 more pages, guys. So it's probably gonna be another hour and a half. All right. Lysistrata says, keeping the silver securely in custody, lest for its sake ye continue the war. What, is the war for the sake of the silver then? Yes, and all other disputes that there are. Why is Pisander forever embroiling us? Why do the rest of our officers feel always a pleasure in strife and disturbances simply to gain an occasion to steal? Act as they please for the future, the treasury, never a penny shall yield them, I vow. How, may I ask, will you hinder their getting it? We will ourselves be the treasurers now. You, the women, will be the treasurers? Certainly. Ah, you esteem us unable perchance. Are we not skilled in domestic economy? Do we not manage the household finance? Oh, that is different. Why is it different? This is required for the fighting, my dear. Well, but the fighting itself isn't requisite. Only without it we're ruined, I fear. We will deliver you. You will deliver us. Truly we will. What a capital notion. Whether you like it or not, we'll deliver you. Impudent hussy. You seem in commotion. Nevertheless, we will do as we promise you. There will be a terrible shame by Demeter. Friend, we must save you. But how if I wish it not? That will but make our resolve the completer. Fools, what on earth can possess you to meddle with matters of war and matters of peace? Well, I will tell you the reason, and speedily, else you will rue it. Then listen, and cease clutching and clenching your fingers so angrily. Help keep yourself peaceable. Hanged if I can, such is the rage that I feel at your impudence. Then it is... ST. Who is ST? Already been introduced. Stratilis. Okay, Stratilis. Then it is you who will rue it, my man. Croak your own fate, you ill-omened antiquity. Lysistrata. You be the spokeswoman, lady. Lysistrata. I will. Think of our old moderation and gentleness. Think of how we bore with your pranks and were still, all through the days of your former pugnacity, all through the war that is over and spent. Not that, be sure, we approved of your policy, never our griefs to you allowed us to vent. Well, we perceived your mistakes and mismanagement, often at home on our housekeeping cares. Often we heard of some foolish proposal you made for conducting the public affairs. Then would we question you mildly and pleasantly, inwardly grieving but outwardly gay. Husband, how goes it abroad, we would ask of him. What have ye done in assembly today? What would ye write on the side of the treaty stone? Husband says angrily, what's that to you? You hold your tongue, and I held it accordingly. I'm never going to remember this name. ST. Stratilis. Excellent. That is a thing which I never would do. Magistrate says, ma'am, if you hadn't, you'd soon have repented it. Lysistrata says, therefore I held it and spake not a word, soon of another tremendous absurdity, wilder and worse than the former we heard. Husband, I say, with a tender solicitude. By the way, Stratilis, I'm led to believe, is Lysistrata's husband. So Stratilis and Lysistrata, I think, are wed. So the magistrate is now talking to a husband and wife, and the wife is the leader of this movement, and now they're talking about their issues. All right. War is the care and the business of men. Magistrate says, Zeus, 'twas a worthy reply, and an excellent. Lysistrata says, what, you unfortunate, shall we not then when we see you're perplexed and incompetent, shall we not tender advice to the state? So when aloud in the streets and the thoroughfare, sadly we've heard you bewailing of late. Is there a man to defend and deliver us? No, says another, there's none in the land. Then by the women assembled in conference, jointly a great revolution was planned. Hellas to save from her grief and perplexity, where is the use of a longer delay? Shift for the future our parts and our characters, you as the women in silence obey. We as the men will harangue and provide for you, then shall the state be triumphant again, then shall we do what is best for the citizens. Magistrate says, women to do what is best for the men. That were a shameful reproach and unbearable. Lysistrata says, silence, old gentlemen, silence for you. Magistrate is talking again. Stop for a wench with a wimple enfolding her. No, by the powers, may I die if I do. Lysistrata says, do not, my pretty one, do not, I pray, suffer my wimple to stand in the way. Here, take it and wear it and gracefully tie it, enfolding it over your head and be quiet. Now to your task. Kalanice says, here is an excellent spindle to pull. So now we're, I guess, introducing more characters back. Marina says, here is a basket for carding the wool. So now they're working together. Here's an excellent spindle to pull. Here's a basket for carding the wool. Lysistrata again. Now to your task. Haircuts chawing up, petticoats drawing up, off to your carding, your combing, your trimming. War is the care and the business of women during the... Okay. So in parentheses here, so that's the end of the dialogue for just a second. Here it says, war is the care and the business of women. So during the foregoing lines, the women have been arraying the magistrate in the garb and with the apparatus of a spinning woman, just as in the corresponding system below, they bedeck him in the habiliments of a corpse. So the women are now kind of talking around or wrapping up the magistrate. Oh, and the women's chorus chimes in. Up, up, and leave the pitchers there, and on resolved and eager, our own allotted part to bear in this illustrious leaguer. I will dance with resolute, tireless feet all day. My limbs shall never grow faint. My strength give way. I will march all links with the noble hearts and the true, for theirs is the ready wit and the patriot hand, and womanly grace and courage to dare and do, and love of our own bright land. Children of stiff and intractable grandmothers, heir to the stinging viragos that bore you, on with an eager, unyielding tenacity, wind in your sails and haven before you. Lysistrata says. Now, only let love, the entrancing, the fanciful, only let Queen Aphrodite today breathe on our persons a charm and a tenderness, lend us their own irresistible sway. Drawing the men to admire us and long for us, then shall the war everlastingly cease. Then shall the people revere us and honor us, givers of joy and givers of peace. The magistrate says, tell us the mode and the means of your doing it. Lysistrata says, first we will stop the disorderly crew, soldiers in arms, promenading and marketing. Stratilis, Stratilis chimes in. Yea, by divine Aphrodite, 'tis true, Lysistrata says. Now in the market you see them like corybants, jangling about with their armor of mail. Fiercely they stalk in the midst of the crockery, sternly parade by the cabbage and kale. But the magistrate says, right, for a soldier should always be soldierly. Lysistrata says, troth, 'tis a mighty ridiculous jest, watching them haggle for shrimps in the marketplace, grimly accounted with shield and with crest. Stratilis. I don't know why I'm having a hard time remembering that. Stratilis. Lately I witnessed a captain of cavalry, proudly the while on his chargers he sat, witnessed him soldierly buying an omelette, storing it all in his cavalry hat. Comes like a Tereus, a thrashing irregular, shaking his dart and his target to boot. Off runs a shop girl, appalled at the sight of him, down he sits soldierly and gobbles her fruit. The magistrate says, you, I presume, would adroitly and gingerly settle this intricate tangled concern. You in a trice could relieve our perplexities. Lysistrata says, certainly. Magistrate, how, permit me to learn? Lysistrata says, just as a woman with nimble dexterity, thus with her hands disentangles a skein, hither and thither her spindles unravel it, drawing it out and pulling it plain. So would this wary Hellenic entanglement soon be resolved by our womanly care, so would our embassies neatly unravel it, drawing it here and pulling it there. The magistrate says, wonderful, marvelous feats, not a doubt of it. You with your skeins and your spindlers can show. Fools, do you really expect to unravel a terrible war like a bundle of tow? Lysistrata says, if you only could manage your politics just in the way that we deal with the fleece. The magistrate says, tell us the recipe. First in the washing tub, plunge it and scour it and cleanse it from grease, purging away all the filth and the nastiness, then on the table expand it and lay. Beating out all that is worthless and mischievous, picking the burrs and the thistles away. Next for the clubs, the cabals and coteries, banding unrighteously office to win, treat them as clots in the wool and dissever them, lopping the heads that are forming therein. Then you should card it and comb it and mingle it all in one basket of love and unity. Citizens, visitors, strangers, and sojourners, all the entire undivided community. Know you a fellow in debt to the treasury, mingle him merrily and with the rest. Also remember the cities are colonies. By the way, that sounds like socialism. Anyway. So anyway, you a fellow in debt to the treasury, mingle him merrily in with the rest. Also remember the cities are colonies, outlying states in the east and the west, scattered about the distance surrounding us. These are our shreds and our fragments of wool. These to one mighty political aggregate, tenderly, carefully gather and pull, twining them all in one thread of good fellowship, thence a magnificent bobbin to spin, weaving a garment of comfort and dignity, worthily wrapping the people therein. So that's kind of a beautiful image of bringing people together. So if anybody was looking to quote a great piece of literature in terms of describing what it looks like to bring people in, especially women, well, I say that is a traditional view of women. Here we go. The magistrate says, heard any ever the like of their impudence, these who have nothing to do with the war, preaching of bobbins and beatings and washing tubs? Lysistrata says, nothing to do with it, wretch that you are. We are the people who feel it the keenliest doubt, doubly on us the affliction is cast. Where are the sons that we sent to your battlefields? The magistrate says, silence, a truce to the ills that are past. Lysistrata says, then in the glory and grace of our womanhood, all in the May and the morning of life, lo, we are sitting forlorn and disconsolate. What has a soldier to do with a wife? Wow. We might endure it, but off for the younger ones, still in their maiden apartments they stay, waiting the husband that never approaches them, watching the years that are gliding away. Magistrate says, men, I suppose, have their youth everlastingly. Lysistrata says, nay, but it isn't the same with a man. It isn't the same with a man. Gray though he be when he comes from the battlefield, still if he wishes to marry, he can. Brief is the spring and the flower of our womanhood, once let it slip and comes not again. Sit as we may with our spells and our auguries, never will a husband marry us then. So men can come back from the battlefield gray, but if they've married young, then women are waiting for years and years past when they can have children, I suppose. Never a husband will marry us then. The magistrate says, truly whoever is able to wed. Lysistrata says, truly, old fellow, 'tis time you were dead. So a pig shall be sought and an urn shall be bought, and I'll bake you and make you a funeral cake. Take it and go. Kalani says, here are the fillets all ready to wear. Marina says, here's a chaplet to bind in your hair. Lysistrata says, take it and go. What are you prating for? What are you waiting for? Charon is staying, delaying his crew. Sharon is calling and bawling for you. Sharon is the, I do remember this. This is a reference that I get. Like Sharon's Crossing, the Undertaker, the being that takes dead souls to the underworld, I believe, from one side to the other. You have to pay him a toll, I think. Okay, the magistrate says, see, here's an outage, here's a scandalous shame. Here's a scandal, here's a scandalous shame. I'll run and show my fellow magistrates the woeful, horrid, dismal plight I'm in. Lysistrata says, grumbling because we have not laid you out. Wait for 3 days, and then with dawn we will come, all in good time, that their day funeral rites. So the magistrate runs off in his grave clothes to complain of and exhibit the treatment he has received. Lysistrata and her friends withdrawn to the Acropolis. The two courses remain without and relieve the tedium of the siege with a little banter. So this is a banter. I'll do the same thing. This is not a time for slumber. Now let all the bold and free strip to meet the great occasion. Vindicate our rights with me. I can smell a deep surprising tide of revolution rising, odor as of folks devising Hippias' tyranny. And I feel a dire misgiving, lest of false Laconians meeting, and the house of Cleisthenes have inspired these wretched women. All our wealth and pay to seize, pay from whence I get my living. Gods to hear these shallow wenches taking citizens to task, prattling of brassy buckler, jabbling of martial cask. Gods to think that they have ventured with Laconian men to deal, men of just the faith and honor that a ravening wolf might feel. Plots they're hatching, plots contriving, plots of rampant tyranny, but us they shan't be tyrants, nor for on my guard I'll be, and I'll dress my sword in myrtle, and with firm and dauntless hand, here beside Aristogiton resolutely take my stand. Marketing in arms beside him, this the time and this the place when my patriot arm must deal a blow upon that woman's face. Woman's chorus. Ah, but your mother shall not know you impudent when you go home. Strip, my sisters, strip for action, on the ground your garments throw. Right it is that I my slender tribute to the state shall render, I who to her thoughtful tender care my happiest memories owe. Bore at 7 the mystic casket, was at 10 Our Lady's miller. Then the yellow brown bear, next a maiden tall and stately with a string of figs to wear. Bore in pomp the holy basket, while may say such a gracious city, all my filial duty claim. What though I was born a woman, comrades, count it not for the blame. If I bring the wiser counsels, I an equal share confer. Towards the common stock of Athens I contribute men to her. But the noble contribution, but the oldest tribute pay, which your fathers left you, relic of the median fray. Daughters ye have lost and wasted, nothing in its stead ye bring. Nay, yourselves ye like to ruin, spend and waste by blundering. Murdering are ye, let me hear you. Only let me hear you speak, and from this unpolished slipper comes a slap upon your cheek. So now they're both naked. The chorus of men and chorus of women are both naked. Men's chorus says, is not this an outrage sore, and methinks it blows not o'er, but increases more and more? Come, my comrades, hale and hearty, on the ground your mantles throw. In the odor of their manhood, men to meet in the fight should go. Not in these ungodly wrappers, swaddled up from top to toe. On and on, my wet-foot veterans, ye who throng Lipsidrium's height, in the days when we were men. Shake this chill old age from off you, spread the wings of youth again. Oh, these women, give them once a handle, however so small, and they'll soon be not behind us in the manliest feats of all. Yea, they'll build them fleets and navies, and they'll come across the sea. Come like Curian Artemisia, fighting in the ships with me. Or they'll turn their first attention happily to equestrian fights. If they do, I know the issue, there's an end of all the knights. Well, a woman sticks on a horseback, look around you see, behold, where on Mycon's living frescoes fight the Amazons of old. Shall we let these willful women, O my brothers, do the same? Rather, first their necks will rivet tightly in the pillory flame. He seizes the neck of Stratylus. The women's chorus says, if our smoldering fires you wake, soon our wildebeest wrath will break out against you, and will make you howl to all the neighbors. Curry come, poor soul and tanned, throw your mantles, sisters, come a firm determined band. In the odor of your wrathful snappish womanhood to stand, who'll come forward and fight me, garlic nevermore, nor beans for him. Nay, if one sour word ye say, I'll be like the midwife beetle, following till the eagle lay. Yea, for you and yours I reck not, whilst my Lampedo survives, and my noble dear Ismenia, loveliest of the Theban wives. Keep decreeing 7 times over, not a bit of good you'll do, wretch abhorred of all the people and of all your neighbors too, so that when Hecate's honor, yesterday I sent to get from our neighbors in Boeotia such a dainty darling pet, just a lovely, graceful, slender, white-fleshed eel, divinely tender. Thanks to your decrees, confound them. One and all refuse to send her, and you'll never stop from making these absurd decrees, I know, till I catch your leg and toss you. Zeus have mercy, there you go. So an interval of several days must here be supposed to elapse. The separation of the sexes has now become unsupportable to both parties, and the only question is which side will hold out the longest. The chorus of women are alarmed at seeing Lysistrata come on the stage and walk up and down with anxious and troubled air. The first 12 lines of the dialogue which ensues are borrowed and burlesqued from Euripides. So these are borrowed and burlesqued from Euripides, who I think I'm reading later. So women's chorus says, illustrious leaders of this bold emprise, what brings thee forth with trouble in thine eyes? Lysistrata says, vile women's works, the feminine hearts they show, these make me pace dejected to and fro. Women's chorus says, oh what, and oh what? Lysistrata, 'tis true, 'tis true. Women's chorus, oh, to your friends, great queen, the tale unfold. 'Tis sad to tell, and sore to leave untold. What has happened? Tell us quick. Aye, in one word, the girls are husband sick. Oh, Zeus, oh. Why call on Zeus? The fact is surely so. I can no longer keep the minxes in, they slip out everywhere. Once I discovered down by Pan's grotto, burrowing through the loophole, another wriggling down by crane and pulley, a third deserts outright, a fourth I dragged back by the hair, yestreen just as she started. On Sparrow's back, straight for Orsilochus's. Oh, they make all sorts of shifts to get away. A woman is attempting to cross the stage. Hi, here comes one deserting. Hi there, hi. Where are you off to? The first woman, who is moving hurriedly. I must just run home. I left some fine Milesian wools about. I'm sure the moths are at them. Moths indeed. Get back, says Lysistrata. The first woman says, but really, I'll return directly. I only want to spread them on the couch. Lysistrata says, no spreading out, no running home today. What? Leave my wools to perish? If need be. A second woman now attempts to cross the stage. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that lovely flax I left at home and hackled. Here's another. She's stealing off to hackle flax forsooth. To the second woman. Come back, get back. Oh, yes, and so I will. I'll comb it out and come again directly. Lysistrata says, nay, nay, no combing. Once begin with that, and other girls are sure to want the same. Reminds me of kindergartners, when one kindergartner wants to use the bathroom, all of a sudden, all of them do. Several women enter one after the other. The third woman says, oh, holy Alethea, stay my labor till I can reach some lawful travel place. How now? My pains are come. Why, yesterday you were not pregnant. Pains, Labor Day. But today I am. Quick, let me pass Lysistrata at once to find a midwife. So she was not pregnant yesterday. She's trying to get out because she is pregnant. Lysistrata says, what's it all about? What's this hard lump? That's a male child. Lysistrata says, that's not it. It's something made of brass and hollow too. Come, out with it. Oh, you silly woman, what? Cuddling up the sacred helmet there and say you're pregnant. She got caught. Well, and so I am. What's this for, then? Why, if my pains overtake me in the Acropolis, I'd creep inside and sit and hatch there as the pigeons do. Nonsense and stuff. The thing's as plain as can be. Stay and keep here the name day of your helmet. Fourth woman comes up. But I can't sleep a single wink up here, so scared I was to see the holy serpent. The fifth woman says, and I shall die for the lack of rest, I know, with this perpetual hooting of the owls. Lysistrata says, oh, ladies, cease these tricks, I pray. Ye want your husbands, and do you suppose that they don't want us? Full wearisome, I know, their nights without us. Oh, bear up, dear friends, be firm, be patient, yet one little while. For I've an oracle, here 'tis, which says, we're sure to conquer if we hold together. The fifth woman says, oh, read us what it says. Lysistrata says, so Lysistrata has gotten this oracle, and it's based on the little summary that I read. This is supposed to be made up. She's made up this oracle's prophecy. All right. Then all keep silence. Soon as the swallows are seen, collecting and crouching together, shutting the hoopos flight, because that's a bird, and keeping aloof from the lovebirds, cometh the rest from ill, and Zeus the Lord of Thunder changeth the upper to under. Fifth woman says, preserve us, shall we be the upper? Lysistrata says, nay, but if once they wrangle and flutter away in dissension out of the temple of God, then all shall see and acknowledge, never a bird of the air so perjured and frail as the swallow. The fourth one says, wow, but that's plain enough. Oh, all ye gods, let us not falter in our efforts now. Come along in, O friends, O dearest friends. 'Twere sin and shame to fail the oracle. So now they don't want to fail the oracle. Anyway, that's the message. The women with Lysistrata re-enter the Acropolis. The two choruses again indulge in an interchange of banter. The men will begin. Right. The men begin. Now to tell a little story, fain I grow, one I heard when quite an urchin long ago. How that once all to shun the nuptial bed, from his home Melonian fled, to the hills and desert sped, kept his dog, wove his snares, set his nets, trapped his hares. Home he never more would go, he detested women so. We are the Melonians' mind, we detest the womankind. There's a man who says, may I, mother, kiss your cheek? A woman says, then you won't require a leak. Man says, hoist my leg and kick you so. Woman says, fie, what a stalwart legs you show. Just a stalwart legs and strong, just such stalwart legs as these, to the noble chiefs belong, Phormio and Myronides. It is now the women's turn. The two systems are, of course, anti-strophical. Oh, okay, so they go back and forth together. Um, Now to tell a little story, fan am I. To your tale about Melonian, take this reply. How that once savage Timon, all forlorn, dwelt amongst the prickly thorn. The such thou shouted fury born, dwelt alone far away, cursing men day by day, never saw his home again, kept aloof from haunts of men, hating men of evil mind, dear to all the womenkind. A woman says, shall I give your cheek a blow? Man says, no, I thank you, no, no, no. Woman says, hoist my foot and kick you too. Man says, fie, what vulgar feet have you? Vulgar feet, absurd, don't such foolish things repeat. Never were, upon my word, tidier, little feet. Okay, so the two choruses now retire back into the background, and there is again a short pause. Suddenly the voice of Lysistrata is heard calling eagerly to her friends. Lysistrata says, ho, ladies, quick, this way. The first woman says, oh, what's the matter, and what means that cry? A man, I see a man approaching, wild with desire, beside himself with love. O lady of Cyprus, Paphos, and Cythera, keep on straight on the way you are going now. But where's the man? Lysistrata says, pointing. Down there by Chloe's chapel. First woman says, oh, so he is. Whoever can he be? Know you him, anyone? Yes, my dear, I know him. That's Synesius, my husband. Oh, then 'tis yours to roast and bother him well, coaxing yet coy, enticing, fooling him, going all lengths save whatever your oath forbids. Aye, trust me, Lysistrata says, and I'll assist you, dear. I'll take my station here and help befool and roast our victim. All the rest retire. The others withdraw, leaving Lysistrata alone upon the wall. Synesius approaches underneath. Synesius, oh me, these pangs and paroxysms of love, riving my heart, keen as a torture's wheel. Who's this within the line of sentries? I, a man, no doubt. Then you gone, who bids me go? I, guard on outpost duty. Oh, call me out, I pray you, Marina. Call you out, Marina, and who are you? Why, I'm her husband. I'm Synesius. Oh, welcome, dearest man, your name. Your name is not unknown yet unhonored here. Your wife forever has it on her lips. She eats no egg, no apple, but she says this to Synesius. Oh, good heaven, she does indeed. And if we ever chance to talk of men, she vows that all the rest are various trash besides Synesius. Ah, call her out, and will you give me aught? Oh, yes, I'll give you anything I've got. He gives her money. Then I'll go down and call her. She descends from the wall into Acropolis. Pray be quick. I've no joy, no happiness in life since she, my darling, left me. When I enter my vacant home, I weep, and all the world seems desolate and bare. My very meals give me no joy. Now Marina is gone. Marina within. I love him, but he won't be loved by me. Call me not out to him. As she speaks, she appears on the wall. What mean you, Marina, my sweet love? Do come down. No, sir, not to you. What? Won't you when I call you, Marina? Why, though you call me, yet you want me not. Not want you, Marina. I'm dying for you. Goodbye. Nay, but listen to the child at all events. Speak to Mama, my child. The child says, Mama. Have you no feeling another for your child, 6 days unwashed, unsuckled? Aye, 'tis I feel for the baby, but 'tis Papa neglects him. Come down and take him then. Oh, it is to be a mother. I needs go down. She descends from the wall, and 4 lines below reappears to the gate. While she is gone, Synesius speaks. She looks, methinks, more youthful than she did, more gentle loving, and more sweet by far. Her gentle airs, her petulant saucy ways, they do but make me love her more. Oh, my sweet child, my a naughty father's child, Mama's own darling, let me kiss you, pet. Why treat me thus, you baggage, letting others lead you astray, making me miserable, and yourself too? Hands off, don't touch me, sir. And all our household treasures, yours and mine, are gone to rack and ruin. I don't care. No, not care, although the fowls are in the house pulling your threads to pieces, not a bit. Nor though the sacred rites of wedded love have been so not long neglected. Won't you come? No, I won't, unless you stop the war and all make friends. Well, then, if such is your will, we'll even do this. Well, then, if such your will, I even come home, but now I swore I can't. Goodness. Okay, throw the pieces, friends, really do this. Dairy, ready there, take the baby home. There now the baby's gone out of the way, come to my arms. Good heavens, where I may ask you? Pen's grotto will do nicely. Oh, indeed, how shall I make me pure to ascend the mount? Easy enough, bathe in the clepsydra. I've sworn an oath, and shall I break it, man? On my head be it, never mind the oath. Well, let me bring a pallet. Not at all, the ground will do. What? One so much to me? I swear I'll never let you lie on the ground. And then Marina exits. Man says, the woman loves me plain enough, you'll see. Enter Marina with a pallet. There, lie down, do make haste, I'll take my things off. But wait a minute, I must find a mattress. Bother the mattress, not for me. Why, yes, it's nasty on the cords. Give me a kiss. There then. Smack, smack. Come back, look sharp about it. Marina returns, exits, and returns with the mattress. Marina says, there now, lie down and see, take off my things. But wait a minute, what about a pillow? Her husband says, but I don't want a pillow. I do, though. Exit Marina. A veritable feast of Marmicides. Returns with a pillow. Up with your head. Hop up. I've all I want. What? All? Yes, all but you. Come here, my precious. There goes the girdle, but remember now, you must not play me false about the piece. God damn me if I do. You have no rug. I want no rug. I want you in my arms. Oh, all right, you shall have me. I'll be quick. Marina leaves. She'll be the death of me with all these bedclothes. Returns with the rug. Up now. I'm up enough to be sure of that. Some nice sweet ointment? By Apollo, no. By Aphrodite, yes. Say what you like. Marina exits again. Lord Zeus, I pray the ointment may be spilt. Marina returns with the ointment. Put out your hand, take some, anoint yourself. I wear this stuff as anything but sweet. The brand is wait and see, no married smell. How stupid. Here, I've brought the Rhodian kind. It's good enough, my dear. Rubbish, good man. She exits again. Perdition, take the man that first made ointment. Returns with the flask. Here, take this flask. I have all the flask I want. Come to my arms, you wretched creature, you. No more things, please. So the man is desperate. He's desperate, basically, to get some loving. No more things, please. I will, by Artemis. There go my shoes, at least. Now, don't forget, you'll vote for peace, my dearest. Oh, I'll see. The creature's done for me, bamboozled me, gone off and left me in this wretched state. What will become of me? Whom shall I fondle, rub to the fairest fair? Who will be ready this orphan to dandle, where Senalopex wear? Find me a nurse. The male chorus that sings in. She's left you a curse. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I grieve for ye. 'Tis no more than a man can bear. Not a soul, not a loin, not a heart, not a groin can endure such pangs of despair. I think she's blue-balled him. That's what's happened here. It's the first, most ancient blue ball that I've ever read. Okay. All this woe she has wrought you. She only, the utterly hateful, the utterly vile. Not so, but the darling, the utterly sweet. The exit. Wind's chorus says, sweet, sweet do you call her, vile, vile, I repeat. Zeus, send me a storm and a whirlwind, I pray, to whisk her away like a bundle of hay, up to the infinite spaces, and toss her and swirl her and twist her and twirl her, till tattered and torn to the earth she is born, to be crushed in my ardent embraces. Enter Herald. Herald says, where shall a body find the Athenian Senate, or the grand lards? I got news to tell. The magistrate enters. News have you, friend? And what in the world are you? A herald, Billy, just a Spartan herald. Come by the trois, a cent apiece you can. The magistrate says, and so you come with a spear in your armpit? Beneath your armpit? Ha, not I. Not I. Why do you turn away? Why cast your cloak before you? Is your groin a trifle swollen for the march? By Castor this loon's a rogue. Look at yourself, you brute. There's an idea amiss with me. Don't play the fool. Why then, what's this? A Spartan letter staff. The magistrate points to himself. Yes, if this is a Spartan letter staff. Well, and how fare the Spartans? Tell me that, and tell me truly, for I know the fact. So now we got Spartans coming in with boners, is what's happening. Herald says they're bad enough. They can wheel a war. They're Cerebested Spartans, allies, and how whence arose this trouble first? From Pan? No, 'twere Lampedo, I ween. First set it, ganging, then our hizzies rising like rinners and signal word, lap hit and jibbed and dang them in way. So Lampedo has been at work with the Spartans. That's where she went, right? Okay. And how like ye that? Achwe and waffle case, they stand a bay, the lassies do, and vow they'll no be couthy with the laddie's mare till a make peace and thoroughly eaten the war. Magistrate says, "This is a plot they have everywhere been hatching. These villainous women, now I see it all. Run home, my man, and bid your people send envoys with absolute powers to treat for peace. And I will off with all the speed I can. And get our council here to do the same." Harold says, "No, but I say fly, you ride me wheel, I'm thinking." The herald leaves for Sparta, the magistrate returns to the Senate, and the two choruses now advance for a final skirmish. "There is nothing so resistless as a woman in her ire. She is wilder than a leopard and is fiercer than a fire. And yet you're so daft as with women to contend, when 'tis in your power to win me, and have found me as a friend. I'll never, never cease all women to detest. That's as you please hereafter, meanwhile you're all undressed. I really can't allow it, you're getting quite a joke. Permit me to approach you, and you put on this cloak." Now that's not so bad or unfriendly, I declare. It was only from bad temper that I stripped myself to bear. There, now you look a man, and none will joke and jeer you. And if you weren't so spiteful that no man can come near you, I'd have pulled out the insect that is sticking in your eye. Ah, that is what's consuming me, that little butterfly. Yes, scoop it out and show me when you've got him safe away, the plaguey little brute. He's been biting me all day. I'll do it, sir, I'll do it. But you're across me, you. Oh, Zeus, here's a monster I'm pulling forth to view. Just look, don't you think 'tis a tricorsian gnat? And he's been digging. Thank you so much for that. So the water, now he's gone, keeps running from my eye. But although you've been so naughty, I've come and wiped it dry. And I'll kiss you. No, not kiss me. Will you, nil you, it must be. Get along, a murrain on you. Cha, what coaxing rogues are ye? That was quite a true opinion which a wise man gave about you. You can't live with such tormentors, no by Zeus, nor yet without you. Yet we'll make a faithful treaty and forevermore agree. I will do no harm to women, they shall do no harm to me. Join our forces, come along, one and all commence the song. And now they both sing together. Not to objurgate and scold you, not unpleasant truths to say, but with words and deeds of bounty come we here today. All enough of idle quarrels, now attend, I pray, and whoever wants some money, -2 or -3, let them say so, man and woman, let them come with me. Many purses large and empty in my house they'll see. Only you must strictly promise, only you indeed must say, that whenever peace regreet us, you will not repay. Some Cartesian friends are coming, some Charistian friends are coming, pleasant gentlemen to dine, and I've made some soup and slaughtered such a lovely swine. Luscious meat you'll have and tender at this feast of mine. Come along yourselves and children, come to grace my board today. Take an early bath and deck you in your best array. Then walk in and ask no questions, take the readiest way. Come along like men of metal, come as though 'twere all for you. Come and you'll find my only entrance locked and bolted too. The Laconian ambassadors are seen approaching. Lo, there's joint choruses are still speaking. Lo, here from Sparta the envoys come, in a pitiful plight they're hobbling in. Heavily hangs each reverend beard, heavily droops and trails from the chin. Laconian envoys, first I bid you welcome, and next I ask how goes the world with you. Laconian ambassadors, Laconian. I need no more money words to answer that. 'Tis unco plain who the wild gangs with us. Plain who the world gangs with us. The choruses say, dear, dear, this trouble grows from bad to worse. Laconian says, 'tis awful bad, 'tis no good talking coomer. We maun hae peace, whatever got we gang tilt. And here, good faith, I see our own Athenians bustling along, they seem in trouble too. So now we've got the Athenian ambassadors entering. Athenian, can some good soul inform me where to find Lysistrata? Our men are, as you see. They're shrugging his shoulders, as you see. He perceives the Laconian ambassadors. The chorus says, sure, we are smitten with the same complaint. Say, don't you get a fit in the early morning? Athenians say, why, we are all worn out with doing this, so Cleisthenes will have to serve our turn, unless we can procure speedy peace. Of course, they say, if you are wise, wrap up, unless you wish one of those Hermes choppers to catch sight of you. Athenians say, prudent advice by Zeus. Laconians. I bet the twa gives the clout to cover up ourselves. I'm having to guess what some of these words mean. Like a lot of letters are missing and apostrophes. Okay. Aha, Laconians, a bad business this. And I think that's meant to indicate like an accent. I could be wrong. Somebody help me. Okay. All Laconians, a bad business this. Deed is it lovey, though it grow now worse. Gin they see us two oligog like this. The Athenians say, well, Laconians, come to facts at once. What brings you here? Laconians say, we're envoys sent to Claver and then a peace. Athenians say, just the same as we. Then let's call out Lysistrata at once. There's none but she can make us friends again. Laconians say, but the toi, call out Lysistrata. So call out Lysistrata. Athenians say, nay, here she is, no need it seems to call. She heard your voices and she comes and called. Lysistrata comes forward, attended by her handmaid, Reconciliation. Her handmaid's name is Reconciliation. It's a little on the nose. The chorus says, O lady, noblest and best of all, arise, arise, and thyself reveal, gentle, severe, attractive, harsh, well skilled with all our complaints to deal. The first and foremost of hell is come. They are caught by the charm of thy spell-drawn wheel. They come to thee to adjust their claims, disputes to settle, and strifes to heal. Lysistrata now has a longer bit. She says, and no such mighty matter if you take them in love's first passion, still unsatisfied. I'll try them now. Go, Reconciliation. Bring those Laconians hither, not with rude and genial harshness hurrying them along, not in the awkward style our husbands used, but with all tact as only women can. So, now bring me those Athenians too. Now then, Laconians, stand beside me here. And you stand there and listen to my words. I am a woman, but I don't lack sense. I am of myself not badly off for brains, and often listening to my father's words and old men's talk, have not been badly schooled. And now, dear friends, I wish to chide you both, that ye of all of one blood, all brethren, sprinkling the selfsame altars from the selfsame lever, at Pylae, Pytho, and Olympia, I and many others which were long to name, and that Hellenes with the barbarian foes, that ye, Hellenes with barbarian foes, armed looking on, fight and destroy Hellenes. So far, one reprimand includes you both. Athenians say, and I'm dying all for love, sweetheart. Laconians say, and ye, Laconians, Lysistrata says, and ye, Laconians, for I'll turn to you, do ye not mind how Pericles came? His coat was scarlet, but his cheeks were white, and sat a suppliant at Athenian altars and begged for help. 'Twas when Messene pressed, weighting you down, in God's great earthquake too, and Simon went, Athenian Cimon went, Simon Cimon, Cimon, help me out, went with his 4,000 men and saved your state. And ye whom Athens aided, now in turn ravaged the land which erst befriended you. Athenians say, for Zeus they were wrong. They're wrong, Lysistrata. The Laconians say, we're wrong, but she's a bride one, ain't she? Bra one? I'm not sure exactly what is meant there. B-R-A-W, bra one she. She's a bra one she. Lysistrata says, and you, Athenians, think ye that I mean to let you off? Did ye not mind when ye wore skirts of hide how these Laconians came and stood beside you in the fight alone and slew many a stout Thessalian trooper? Full many of Hippias' friends and helpers, and freed the state and gave you your people back, the civil mantle for the servile skirt. Laconians say, danged, and there ever was a bonnier lassie. Athenians say, hanged if I ever saw so sweet a creature. Lysistrata, such friends aforetime, helping each the other, what is it makes you fight and bicker now? Why can't ye come to terms? Why can't ye, hey? Laconians say, truth, and we're willing, gin they give us back yon girdled nuke. What's that? Pilus, ye ninny. Woke we've been langin' and graping for. Pilus. Athenians say, no, by Poseidon, but you won't get that. Lysistrata says, let him have it, man. Athenians say, how can we stir without it? Lysistrata says, ask for something else instead. The Athenians say, let's see. Suppose they give us back Echinus first, then the full-bosomed Gulf of Melis, and then the Strait of Megurus limbs. The Laconians say, hey, man, you're daft. You'll not have everything. Lysistrata says, let it be. Don't wrangle about the limbs. The Athenian says, I fix. You like to strip and plow my field. Laconians say, and I to bring them in by the trois. Lysistrata says, all this you'll do, and once you come to terms, so if you would, go and consult together and talk it over, each with your allies. The Athenians say, Alas, says she, now my good soul consider, what do they want? What can they want but this, their wives again? Laconian says, the fight another was ha mine I ween. I have no idea. The fiant another was ha mine I ween. The Athenians say, nor my Charistians either. Lysistrata says, oh, that is well, so purify yourselves, and in the Acropolis will feast you all on what our cupboards still retain in store. There each to other plight your oath and troth, then every man receive his wife again, and hie off homeward. The Athenians say, that we will, and quickly. The Laconians say, Gaon will follow. Aye, as quick as quick. So Lysistrata and the ambassadors go in. Now the chorus, I suppose, of men and women. Gorgeous robes and golden trinkets, shawls and mantles rich and rare, I will lend to all who need them, lend for youth to wear. Or if any comrade's daughter who would the basket bear, one and all I here invite you freely of my goods partake. Not is sealed so well, but boldly, the seals may break. And of all that lurks behind them, quick partition make. Only if you find the treasures, only if the stores you spy, you must have, I'll tell you plainly, keener sight than I. Is there any man among you with a lot of children small, with a crowd of hungry servants serving in his hall? I have wheat to spare in plenty, I will feed them all. Loaves a quart apiece, I'll give them. Come along, whoever will. Bring your bags and bring your wallets for my slave to fill. Manes, here's the boy to pack them. Manny's, he's the boy to pack them, tight and tighter still. Only you must keep your distance, only you must needs take care. Only don't approach my doorway where the watchdog wear. Some idlers come in from the marketplace and attempt to enter the house in which the ambassadors are feasting. First idler says, open the door there, ho! The porter says, be off, you rascal. What, you won't you stir? I've half a mind to roast you all with this torch. No, that's a vulgar trick. I won't do that. Still, if the audience wish it, to please their tastes, we'll undertake the task. Second idler, and we with you will undertake the task. The porter says, hang you, be off. What are you at? You'll catch it. Come, be gone. That these Laconians hear, the banquet ended, may depart in peace. The banqueters begin to come out. First Athenian, well, if I ever saw a feast like that, what cheery fellows those Laconians were. And we were wondrous witty in our cups. The second Athenian says, aye. 'Tis when we're sober, we're so daft. Now if the state would take a friend's advice, 'twould make it envoys always all get drunk. When we go dry to Sparta, all our aim is just to see what mischief we can do. We don't hear aught they say, and we infer a heap of things they never said at all. Then we bring home all sorts of differing tales. Now everything gives pleasure if a man, when he should sing Cladogora, strike up with Telemon's song. Telemon's song will clap him on the back and say 'twas excellent, aye, and swear it too. The idlers again approach. The porter says, why, bless the fellows, here they come again, crowding along. Be off, you scoundrels, will you? First idler says, by Zeus, we must. The guests are coming out. The ambassadors come out from the banquet. Laconians say, oh, lovey man, take up the pipes and blah. And I just dance and sing a canty sang, anent the Athenians and our ansels too. Athenians say, aye, by the powers, take up the pipes and blow. But I dearly love to see you dance. Laconians say, stir, memory, stir the chiefs, the keels, with that old song of thine. Wilk can what we and addicts did, and the grand fetchling sign. At Artemisium they, a resolute and strang, rushed dourly to the fray, hurtling like good amang. The timbered ships and but the meads to rout, and us Leonidas let out. Like gruesome boars, I ween, wetting our tuskies keen. Muckle around the chaps was the white freeth gleaming. Muckle adoon the legs was the white freeth streaming. For an unnumbered as the sands were they, the Persian bands. O Artemis the pure, the chaste, the virgin queller of the beasties. O come with power and come with haste, and come to join our friendly feasties. Come with thy stoutest tether to knit our souls together, and give us peace and shore, and love forevermore. Far hence depart the taut's deceitful heart. O virgin huntress, pure and chaste, O come with power and come with haste. Lysistrata says, there, all is settled, all arranged at last. Now take your ladies, you Laconians those, and you take those, and standing side by side, each with his partner, lead your dances out in grateful honor to the gods, and oh, be sure you never more offend again. The chorus here near the end. Now for the chorus, the graces, the minstrelsy. Call upon Artemis, queen of the glade. Call upon her brother, the lord of festivity. Holy and gentle one, mighty to aid. Call upon Bacchus afire with his Nades. Call upon Zeus in the lightning arrayed. Call on his queen, ever blessed, adorable. Call on the holy, infallible witnesses. Call them to witness the peace and the harmony. This which divine Aphrodite has made. La 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 la. Whoop for victory. La 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 la. Avoy avoy. La 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 la. Avoy avoy. La 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 la. That's what it reminds me of. Okay. Our excellent new song is done. Do you, Laconian, give us one? Laconians here at the end. Leave Tegeti and quickly hither, muse Laconian, come. Him the good and brow Amyclae, him Athena press and dumb, him the Tenorids forever, sporting the by Eurotas river. New the step begin, twirling like the fleecy skin. Say we join our blithesome voices, praising Sparta loud and lang. Sparta, what of old rejoices in the choral dance and sang. Oh, to watch her bonny daughters sport along Eurotas waters. Winsome feet forever playing, fleet as fillies, wild and gay. Winsome tresses tossing flying, as Bacchanalus at play. I understand Bacchanalus. That's people celebrating Bacchus, partying, right? Lead us, daughter, on before us, pure and spritey, guides the chorus. Onward go whilst your eager hand represses. Ah, the glory of your tresses, while your eager foot is springing like the roe, whilst your eager voice is singing, praise to her in might excelling, goddess o' the brassen dwelling. Goddess o' the brassen dwelling. All right. Well, that is the end of the Lysistrata, or the Lysistrata, depending on how you pronounce it. So, wow, that's pretty interesting. Excellent. So, the Lysistrata, obviously there's some like themes of like womanhood in there, that talk themes about what it takes to bring about peace. It's interesting. So you have all the women within the place where all the money is held. I'm obviously I'm probably going to look up one or two more summaries of this, maybe some key takeaways to make sure that I'm fully taking out of it what's intended. I fear when I read these things, and there's a lot of references I don't understand, right? There's a lot of names that I can't pronounce. But it's exciting to me that at least I've read it. And again, some things will probably click with me as I hear some summaries. The biggest takeaways, I think, were the descriptions of the work that women do. And then there's a metaphor or an analogy of folding people in, like taking care of wool by hand, the same thing that we should do with people. There's like a light hint of socialism within that, right? If you have a debtor, bring them in too. All about peace, the women folk are. So maybe it plays on some ancient stereotypes of women as well, like women, the fairer sex. It's interesting that it also just uses sex as its own little, that is what is motivating the men to bring peace about. And I don't know, maybe there's something to be said for that. Should be, I'm surely missing some kind of metaphor or something within that. But thank you for listening. If you've listened this far, sorry I butchered all the names. Sorry for all the restarts. You know what? I'm not sorry. You came here. There are better audiobooks. There are better audio versions of this that are out there for free. Yet you chose to come here. So instead of sorry, thank you for being with me tonight. And that's all I've got. Y'all have a great night. And next time I think I've got Plato's The Republic, I believe is next. Books 1 and 2. I could be wrong. Look out for it. All right, I'll see you soon.